Welcome once again. The Zambian government says over 17 billion kwacha is readily available to meet payments for workers to have partial access to pension funds under the new NAPSA bill once passed into law. Speaking during the official opening of the Mine Workers Union of Zambia 15th Quadrennial Conference at New Fairmount Hotel in Livingstone, the Minister of Labor and Social Security, Brenda Tamba, said many were doubting that the government had no money to pay the workers under NAPSA. But of course, to the contrary, this is happening.
Well, it'll be interesting to know how this move will benefit all the people of Zambia, especially the Zambia mining industry, and how this will be, how this will be affected, and basically analyzing the relationship between Zambia mining industry and Nigeria. But of course, we will keep following up with the story and bring you more updates from Zambia. We take the conversation now away from Zambia and let's head over to South Africa. Now, we do have good news. We've been following up with the story. 250 South African students currently studying in Russia, faced with expulsion from 11 different universities over unpaid fees, will breathe a sigh of relief this week. Now, the Mpumalanga Department of Education in South Africa has confirmed that it transferred 28 million rand to the Department of International Relations and Cooperation to disburse it to the Russian universities for the overdue fees.
The group doing general medicine, engineering, aviation, and information technology at the various campuses. According to the department, the international bursary program initiated in 2016 by the Mpumalanga Human Resource Development Strategy expired in March this year, leading to payments being delayed. But now, of course, there's been confirmation that I think about 28 million rand, has been paid, has been sent. There are still challenges, or there are still concerns. I did watch an interview yesterday with Victoria Mahiso, who is a member of the International Students Organization there in Russia. And she did complain, that yes, first of all, the Mpumalanga Education Board, had said that they didn't have enough money. No, they had money, but the agency that, they used to pay through, they were having issues with the figures that the agents were giving them. And so they wanted to confirm that the agent wasn't overcharging them, overbilling them. And that's why they held back for a bit. But even after holding back, there was also concerns about getting invoices from the university. And so they needed to get proper invoices from the university before those payments could be made. And those were some of the reasons that they held back initially. But now that the funds have been released, here the challenge really has been for the students is that the department at the embassy, first of all, has been poor communication at the embassy, between the embassy and the students. But aside that, aspect of communication, the students also, and the body over there in Russia cannot access those funds. So 28 billion rand has been sent, but they can't access those funds in Russia. So they have to go to a neighboring country's embassy to gain access to those funds, which is something that they do once every month. So they had deadlines from their landlords, they had deadlines from the universities to pay tuition fees for those who had accommodation in Russia. They had deadlines from landlords, so they need to pay rent.
Yes.
They were given an extension from the 7th of October. They moved the extension to, I think, the 14th or the 17th of October. That has also passed now. But the problem is, these funds cannot be gotten because they can only access those funds once a month when they go to a neighboring country's embassy to get those funds from South Africa. So the next time that they can get those funds is in November. So they have between now and the end of November to see if payments can be made for their rent and for their tuition fees. And so it might sound like good news.
Good news, but inverted commas.
Yes.
I mean, on the one hand, we have some of them who are excited at the fact that they're not evicted. One of the victims, I will call them victims in this case, one of the students said that her rent was to expire on Monday. I think it was this week, Monday. Unfortunately, her landlord had given her a deadline saying that if she didn't pay the rent, she was going to be kicked out. Weather temperatures in Moscow are ridiculously cold. Thankfully, the rent has been sorted, but how do we prevent this from being a repeat situation is what the question is. What is the plan going forward? Is it a temporary relief? How sustainable is this relief? So maybe a structure needs to be put in place to ensure that this is not a conversation that is coming up over and over again.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get to speak with one of them because, like I said, it hasn't been sorted. So the payment has been made according to the Mpumalanga Education Committee. But they may not receive the money immediately.
Yes.
So those funds, may not be paid immediately, and these people who are still, of course, owing their landlords and owing their tuition may still be left hanging for another couple of weeks. That's what the fears are.
All right, we will be joining, of course, we'll be joined by some of the students as we proceed with the show. We'll be following up the story like we've been doing since last week, and we do hope that it is something that we will be excited about, as there will be a structure around this.